Wish you warm welcome. In today's full body yoga practice, we'll focus on lengthening and strengthening lower body, that is our leg muscles. Just to give you a quick overview, we'll begin with warm up, then traditional asana or its variation, followed by cooling pose and shavasana. When you are ready, let's begin our warm up with spot jog or spot walk if you can't jog for some reason. Gentle smile on your face. You smile to bring your attention to the here and now. Your body, your mat, and nothing else for next 30 minutes. Engage your arms, move them slightly more than their usual movement while jogging, just to engage your arms a bit more into your jog. Of course, that's not natural, but it's a nice way to bring our attention in the arms. Now, pay attention to the landing of your feet onto the ground. See what side of your feet you are leaning to. Is that your big toe or little toe, or you are even? Slowly pause, come to Tadasana with feet hip width apart. Bring your attention to your breath. Allow your shoulders to relax and let them go down, not lifting them up towards the ears. Instead, let them go down, opening at the chest, so inner shoulders going away from each other. And bring your attention to your fingers. Let them extend towards the crown. Bring your thumbs in line with your other fingers. Release and relax. Next, knee to the chest. So just lifting your knee towards the chest. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now let's engage the arms as well. So bring your hands at the front of your face like this. And when you raise your knee up, move your hands down. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now engage the breath. When you raise your knee, exhale like this. So, but do it through your nose. If for some reason you can't exhale through your nose, then exhale through your mouth. Not leaning forward. When you lift the chest, when you lift the knee up, maintain the chest upright and allow your knee to go up towards the chest. Keep going. 4 more rounds. 1, 2, 1, 2. 2 more rounds. And the last round. 2. Come back to Tadasana. Next, your legs are roughly hip width apart. Bring your hands onto your hips and then moving a leg towards the side. So side raises with the leg like this. Let's do 6 rounds of these. Let's begin. 1, 2, keep going. And when you do that, try not to lean all the way towards the opposite side. Hold the trunk, your torso in the center. Last one. Change. Let's do the opposite side. And observe the strength that you are using from the opposite leg, how that foot is placed on the ground. See if you are losing the balance. If so, press it well onto the mat. Last round. Back to Tadasana. Bring your hands back to your hips and moving your leg towards the front and the back. Let's do that. Few rounds here. Keep going. Pay attention to the breath, not holding the breath here. And we want more movement from the leg, so not leaning forward, maintaining that trunk in the center, but allow your leg to go back and forth. And keep pressing that inner edge of your opposite foot onto the ground. Pause, change, let's do the opposite side. Keep breathing, relax your face, relax your jaw, not clenching of your teeth. Last 2 rounds. Pause. Come back to Tadasana. Take a breath here. Release and relax. Let's practice a small sequence. Come at the front of your mat. Stand in Tadasana with feet hip width apart. Looking straight, chest lifted, arms straight at the elbows. Inhale and raise your arms up, not lifting the shoulders up towards the ears. Instead, bring them down towards the ground. Now, while maintaining this alignment of your arms, that means length in the arms, bend your legs and lower your hips towards the ground as if you're sitting on the chair, not lifting the buttocks up. Exhale and bend forward to bring your hands onto the mat. Legs bent. Now straighten the legs first. Open the back of your knees to the extent you can and then roll yourself up. Back to Tadasana, that is mountain pose. Take a breath. Next inhale, raise your arms up. Then repeat, lower your hips down. Exhale and bend forward. Get settled here first with your bent legs and hands on the mat. Then straighten the leg to the extent you can. Respect the resistance of your body and do not overstretch. Be aware when you are opening the back of your knees. And slow progress and keep faith on slow progress that opening or improving the flexibility. Slowly roll yourself up. Back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Normal breath, and we'll do 2 more rounds of these. Inhale and raise your arms up. Now you know the drill. We'll do up slightly faster. Exhale and lower your hips. Maintain the arms straight. See if you can go a bit more down towards the ground with your buttocks. Exhale as you bend forward and bring your hands onto the mat. Adjust your body weight so that you are not leaning towards the front of your feet. Then straighten your legs, open the back of your knees. Pay attention to the resistance that you get when you open the back of your knees from your hamstrings. You are working on them, you are improving their flexibility. Slowly roll yourself up. Back to Tadasana, normal breath. Inhale and raise your arms up. Last round. Exhale as you lower your hips. Imagine as if there is a virtual chair and you're sitting on it. And strong and firm grip from the back of your thighs towards your buttocks, towards your hips. Exhale and bend forward. Uttanasana, straighten the legs. Lifting the front thighs up, strong grip from your legs. Observe the body weight, lean slightly back if you're heavy on the balls of your toes. Balls of your feet. Roll yourself up, each vertebra at a time. Come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Take 2 normal breaths here. Release and relax. Come at the center of your mat. In the next section of today's video, we'll practice traditional asana or its variation. We'll begin with Veerbhadrasana 2, that is warrior pose 2. Come to Tadasana with feet together. Join the inner edges of your feet, arms at your sides. Lift to the chest, inner shoulders going away from each other. Looking straight. Maintain the normal breath. Bring your hands to the chest. Bend your legs. Jump or walk your legs wide apart. Take a longer stance between your legs. Bring your hands to your hips and just pay attention to your feet. Make sure the toes are pointing towards the wall at the front, and you are pressing inner edges and outer edges of your feet evenly onto the mat. Lifting to the front of your thighs and tucking the tailbone in. You're not leaning forward. Your torso is in line with your hips, or at the center, your shoulders are in line with your hips. Your tailbone is tucked in, lifting to the front of thighs, strong grip, and allowing your toes to extend towards the wall at the front. Yes, a lot of work when you engage your legs and make sure they are not dull. Now bring your hands back to your chest, bend your legs at the knee, jump or walk back into Tadasana. Take a breath and we'll repeat. Hands to the chest, bend your legs, jump or walk your legs wide apart. Take a longer stance. This time, once you have your hands on your hips, turn your right leg out to the right, roughly 90 degrees towards the wall on your right. Lift that back heel and place it all the way back. Now, while maintaining the hands on your hips, turn your trunk towards the wall at the front to the extent you can, and bend your front leg to lower your hips down towards the ground. The moment you do that, make sure your knee is not passing the ankle joint. Just have a look at your knee and ankle joint. If for some reason you are passing the ankle joint, then increase the distance between your legs. You want wider distance. And pay attention to the outer edge of your back foot. Make sure you're not lifting it up. Press it down. Now exhale as you press your feet well onto the ground. Straighten the leg. Let's do 2 more times. Lower the hips down. Exhale as you come up. Inhale as you go down. One last time. Come up. Turn your feet in. And let's do the opposite side. Now you know the drill. Turn the left leg 90 degrees towards the wall on your left. Lift that back heel and place it all the way back so that you turn the back leg in. And observe the alignment of your legs. The heel of your left heel or front heel of your front leg is roughly in line with the arch of your back foot. Bring the torso in the center. Your shoulders are stacked on top of your hips, and then bend your front leg, go down, come up, go down, come up. Keep going. Last time, go down and come up. Turn your feet in. Bring your hands to your chest and back to Tadasana. Jump or walk to Tadasana, your choice. Pay attention to your breath. Let's repeat. This time, we'll get into the full pose. Hands to the chest. Now you know the drill. Jump or walk your legs wide apart. Take a longer stance. Bring your hands to your hips. Then turn the right leg out. Turn the back leg in. Trunk towards the wall at the front. Then bend your front leg. Make sure your knee is in line with your ankle joint. Your heel is in line with the arch of the back leg. You're not leaning towards the right or the left. Torso in the center. Tailbone tucked in. That means you're not leaning forward as well. And then raise your arms. Have a look at your arms. Make sure they're sharp and straight, going out to the sides as if someone pulling your arms to the side, so they are straight. And then see if you can lower your trunk slightly more towards the ground, so that angle between your thigh and the shin is going towards the 90 or maybe already 90 degree. Breathe, don't hold the breath. Exhale as you press your feet onto the ground. Come up and let's do the opposite side. Turn the left leg out. You can bring your hands to your hips. Turn the back leg in. Bend your left leg. Make sure the alignments are correct. Just have a look. Then bring your torso into the center. Then raise your arms. Have a look at your arms. Make sure your fingers are straight, pointing towards the wall at your sides along with your arms. Breathe. Don't hold the breath. Exhale. Press both the feet well onto the ground. Straighten the front leg. Turn your feet in. Bring your hands to your hips. We'll repeat. Turn your right leg out. Turn the back foot in. Bend the front leg. Bring the torso in the center. Raise your arms. This time, once you are in the pose, turn your head and have a look at your right hand. We are into the full pose. See if you can open the back of your knee, of your back leg a bit more so that back leg is straight. But do not let it go dull. That means lifting the front thigh well towards the hip and pressing that outer edge of your back foot well onto the mat. Making sure you're not tilting the knee of your back leg towards the ground. Keep it well engaged. Exhale as you press both the feet well onto the mat. Come up, straighten the legs, turn your feet in, bring your hands to your hips, change. Let's do the opposite side. Get the alignment first with your legs, then torso in the center, then raise your arms, then have a look at your left hand. Relax your face, relax your jaw, no clenching of the teeth, and pay attention to your breath. Maintain the natural breath here. And not lifting of the shoulders up. Allow the shoulders to go down towards the ground. Exhale as you press your feet. Come up. Turn both the feet in, hands to your chest, and back to Tadasana. Release and relax. Next, Utkatasana. I turn here sideways to give better view. You don't have to turn. Standing in Tadasana with feet together. Then inhale and raise your arms up. And bend your legs to lower your hips as if you're sitting on the virtual chair. And make sure you're moving the buttocks down. So not lifting the buttocks up and arching of lower back. Instead, moving the buttocks down to have the length at the lower back. Keep looking straight. Maintain the breath. Arms straight. Fingers going straight towards the wall at the front or up towards the ceiling. Knees together. Exhale as you press your feet onto the ground and lower your arms at the sides. Release. Now just make a fold of your mat. Make 2 folds of your mat and we are going to stand on that. So bring your heels onto the fold of the mat, feet together. If for some reason you are not practicing on the mat, then any piece of cloth which is thick enough, just stand on that. Back to Tadasana. Inhale and raise your arms. Now we'll observe how having some height underneath the heels allows to perform the pose or supports the pose. Exhale and bend your legs. Lower your hips to the ground. Knees together. Now observe the change. See if your trunk is slightly away from the thighs in comparison to the previous pose that you just did. See if you can tilt your pelvis more so that buttocks are going more towards the ground and there is more length at the back. Just pay attention to these minute changes in the pose. Exhale as you press your feet and come up. Normal breath. Now come out of the folds. move, unfold your mat, and we'll perform the pose one more time without the folds or without the support of the folds underneath the heels, and try to bring the same alignment that you had when you had the support of folded mat underneath your heels. Inhale and raise your arms. Bend your legs and lower your hips. Tilt your pelvis so that buttocks are going down towards the ground, not lifting them up. Knees together, looking straight, arms straight, fingers straight. Slightly move your buttocks more towards the wall behind. That means you're slightly heavy on your heels and allowing your trunk to be away from your thighs. Last breath here. Come on, you can do it. Exhale as you press your feet onto the ground. Come up, lower your arms down towards the sides. Take 2 natural breaths here. Relax your face. Release and relax. We'll perform the variation of Ustrasana next to the wall to get more opening at the front of the thighs. Come next to the wall. If you are not, just move your mat next to the wall. Your knees are roughly hip width apart. Go as close as possible to the wall so the front of your thighs are touching to the wall. Observe your feet. Make sure your toes are pointing straight towards the wall behind and they are not curled in. Your feet are not curled in like this. Make sure they are straight towards the wall behind. Relax your feet. Don't curl your toes. Now, while maintaining this alignment, bring your hands to your buttocks. Keep pressing your front of your thighs onto the wall. Then lean back. And without leaving that connection at the front of your thigh and the wall, keep moving back, curving your back, go away from the wall, and slowly come forward. And let's perform 4 more rounds of these. So intention here is to keep moving with awareness your legs towards the wall at the front. We are trying to create more length and the strength at the front of the thigh. Let's do that. 4 more rounds. Keep breathing. Don't hold the breath. Keep pushing the front of your thighs on the wall. Come up. 2 more rounds at your own speed. You don't have to follow me. Come up. Last round. Go back. Come up. Slowly move back and get into forward Virasana, that is Adho Mukha Virasana. Knees towards the side edges of your mat and your big toes are pointing towards each other, but they are not on top of each other. So there is a gap between your legs. So you are going to move your torso between your thighs, arms straight at the front. Bend your arms at the elbows, let them rest on the ground, and along with that, if you can, rest your head onto the mat. Pay attention to the breath. Slowly come forward and lie on your abdomen. Allow your legs to extend towards the wall behind and tops of your feet onto the mat. Bring your hands next to the chest and elbows in. Tops of your shoulders are moving back towards the hips direction or towards your heel direction. Now press your hands onto the mat to sit your buttocks to the heels. And to do that, tuck your toes in first and then sit on your heels. Your hands are roughly shoulder distance apart. Just have a look at your hand. Make sure they're shoulder distance apart and allow all the fingers to lengthen. And slowly come forward so that your shoulders are roughly on top of your wrist. Now lift the knees up to get into downward dog. Bring the balls of your feet and toes onto the mat. You are in downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Adho means down, Mukha means face, and Swan means dog. That's why the name of the pose. Pay attention to your fingers, let them lengthen, and press your little finger, your first finger, and your thumbs well onto the ground. See if you can move your trunk more towards the leg direction and moving your buttocks more towards the wall behind. So visualize as if you are creating the length from the base of your spine all the way through your mid back, through your upper back, towards the head direction. You are lengthening your back. Slowly bring your knees to the ground. Come to the tabletop position. Take normal breath here. Last breath, and then we'll repeat the downward dog. Now this time when you are in downward dog, open the back of your knees slightly more. Observe that resistance from the back of your legs to achieve that opening. If there is some, and keep faith that with time, with right awareness, there will be more opening, but you don't have to push too hard to achieve that. Let it come gradually with time, with practice, and with awareness of the breath. Once more, bend your knees and come to the tabletop position. Maintain the natural breath. From here, we'll practice Anjaneya Asana, a pose named after Lord Hanuman's mother, Anjana. Come back to downward dog. Bring your feet together. Then raise your right leg and place it between your hands. Lower your left knee onto the ground. Untuck your toes. Your hands beside your right foot onto the mat, roughly underneath your shoulders. And take this opportunity to press your right foot well onto the ground. Make sure you're not leaning towards the right or left. Get that stability into the pose. Observe where the back foot, the top of your foot, of your left foot, let it relax, not curling of the toes. Then look straight. Keep breathing, don't hold the breath. Now see if you can move your hips more towards moving the hips more towards your right heel to get that opening at the front of the thigh of your left leg. The front hip, left front hip, front thigh, around the knee region of your left leg. Once you are settled here, and slowly come up and bring your hands to your hips while moving your hips more towards the heel direction, looking straight. Lift in the chest and the shoulders, the inner shoulders going away from each other. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Observe the sensations that you are experiencing in your legs. Keep pressing that front foot well onto the ground. Slowly lean forward, bring your hands onto the mat. Tuck your toes in of your back foot and get back into downward dog. Take a breath here. When you are ready, bring your left leg forward, place it between your hands, untuck your right foot. The same drill, press your left foot well onto the ground. Make sure inner edge and outer edge of your left foot is placed well. All the toes are leaning towards the wall at the front. You're not curling them. Looking straight. Allow the shoulders to go back. Then once you are ready, bring your hands on your hips and lowering your hips more towards your left heel. And observe the difference and the opening between two sides. So for me, my left side is not as open as right. Make this a last breath. Lean forward, bring your hand onto the mat. Go back to downward dog. Feet together. Let's repeat. This time we'll get into the full pose. Now you know the drill. Lower your left knee, untuck your left foot. Once you are stable, bring your hands onto your hips, looking straight. Once you are stable here, raise your arms up, bring them in line with your shoulders. Relax your jaw, maintain the natural breath, no clenching of teeth. Keep pressing that front foot well onto the ground. Slowly lean forward, bringing the hands onto the mat, back to downward dog. Let's do the opposite side. Left foot forward, lower the right knee, untuck your right foot. Once you are stable, bringing your hands onto the hips. Once you are stable here, raise your arms up. Keep looking straight. Lift in the chest. Arms straight. Along with your arms, let the fingers extend towards the ceiling. Bring your thumbs in line and shoulders down. Not lifting of your shoulders up towards the ears. Slowly lean forward. Bring your hands onto the mat. Back to downward dog. In downward dog, this time feet are hip width apart. Normal breath. 2 more breaths in the downward dog. Slowly lie on your back. Transitioning towards the cooling pose, Jatara Parivartanasana. Jatara means abdomen. Parivartanasana means revolved or twisted pose. So we are doing the variation of Jatara Parivartanasana. Bring your arms in line with your shoulders. Lift your knees up so that your knees are roughly on top of your hips and your calves are parallel to the ground. Knees together, feet together. When you are ready, lower your knees towards the ground on your right. Keep looking straight towards the ceiling and try not to press or push hard with your left shoulder towards the ground to move it towards the ground. Once more, respect that resistance from the body and keep faith. With time, you will improve the flexibility, the length in the muscles, and it will gradually move more towards the ground. Maintain the natural breath. Observe the sensations in your both the arms, in your neck region, in your trapezius. The trapezius are at the top of your back, very close to your neck. Slowly lift your legs, bring them at the center. Change, go towards opposite side. Once more, you will experience the difference between the two sides. You might experience that one side is more open compared to other, and that's natural. Make this a last breath. When you are ready, lift your legs up and bring the soles of your feet onto the ground. Straighten your legs. Bring your arms at your sides. We'll stay in Shavasana, corpse pose, for a minute or two. Your hands facing towards the ground or towards the ceiling, your choice. Find a position that suits well to your arms to relax. You don't want to maintain any hold in your arms, in your legs, or any body part. Maintain the natural breath. Observe the pattern of your natural breath. Relax your face. See if there is any tension or tightness in your jaw, in your throat. See if you can release it on an exhale. Slowly bend your legs to bring the soles of your feet onto the mat. Bend your arms and bring your hands onto your abdomen at the lower front rib. When you are ready, turn to your side and stay there for a moment before you come up. Take support of your head and come up and sit in cross-leg position. Sit upright, sit tall. Then bring your hands next to your chest in prayer position. Namaskar Mudra. Allow your elbows to go down towards the ground, and along with your elbows, let your shoulders to drop, but maintain the lift in your trunk through your lower back, lift in the chest. Any frown lines at the forehead, let them disappear. Take this opportunity to thank yourself for being engaged in the practice to strengthen and lengthen your legs. Celebrate this small win of your day with gentle smile on your face. Slowly move your chin towards the chest, moving your head forward. Namaste and thank you. Move your head back, open your eyes, release your hands onto your thighs. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider giving a like and let me know in comment section what content you would like to see more. See you next time. Till then, be your best version.